Good morning, Shiplake College, and thank you for joining Be Still of Wellbeing Week and for giving meditation a try. Some of you may already be familiar with mindfulness or may even already have a meditation practice, especially if you've been joining in my Friday afternoon activity sessions. But for those of you who are not familiar, mindfulness is essentially a form of focus. It's about being present in the moment. You may have already experienced this, whether in sport or engrossed in your favourite book. It's about being fully engaged in the activity that you're doing. In meditation, it's a way of focusing the mind to help clear the mind of thoughts. This is a useful skill, whether trying to discover the nature of self or simply to experience a sense of calm or clarity. The more you practice, the more you'll become aware of distractions as they arise and refocus on whatever it is you're trying to do. This morning we'll be practicing a mindfulness of breath exercise, which simply involves counting the breath. We count 1 on the inhale, 2 on the exhale, 3 on the inhale, 4 on the exhale, and so on and so forth up to a count of 10. And when we get to 10, we start again at 1. It sounds simple, but what starts to happen is thoughts start to pop into our mind and distract us from the count. When this happens, simply restart your count at 1. It doesn't matter where you left off, just begin the count again as soon as you notice that you've been distracted. Now, before we begin, it's important to get our setup right. This morning I'm sitting on a chair, but you may wish to sit on the floor. If you're going to do that, I would suggest either crossing your legs or kneeling. And it's a good idea to prop yourself up if you have something like a block, or if you don't have a block, a cushion, or even a stack of textbooks, just to give you a little bit of extra height so that your back doesn't round. It's important because this morning we'll be sitting for about 10 minutes, but if you enjoy this and you want to continue meditating and go on for, say, 15, 20, even 30 minutes, it's important to be comfortable. Otherwise, this can become another source of distraction. So this morning I'm sitting on a chair. Again, I don't want my back to be rounded, so make sure you're not leaning back in the chair. Shift your weight all the way to the edge so that your back can be nice and straight and you've got enough space for your lungs to breathe. The legs are at a right angle and the feet are flat on the floor. I have my hands just resting on the knees, or you may wish to have your hands in your lap, wherever's comfortable. Before we begin, we're going to take a few deep breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. But once we get into the guided meditation, just allow yourself to breathe normally. All you need to do is count the breath. So we'll start with a soft focus with the eyes open. And then after we've taken our 3 breaths, I'll ask you to close the eyes. Let's begin. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Gently allow the eyes to close. Beginning to notice the sounds around you. Maybe you can hear the sound of the birds chirping outside or cars driving past. Noticing maybe the temperature of the room. Is it warm or is it cold? Noticing the feeling of our feet on the floor, or the weight pressing down either into the floor or into the chair. Noticing the feeling of our hands on the knees or in the lap. And beginning to turn our awareness inwards. And beginning from the top of the head, we're just going to scan down, just noticing the different parts of our body. We don't need to change anything, just becoming more aware of how the body is feeling this morning. Scanning down from the top of the head, down through the muscles of the face. Noticing if there's any tension in the face or in the neck. Scanning down into the shoulders, down the back. Often we can feel tension in the shoulders, especially if we're working at a desk all day. Just taking this opportunity to check in and continuing to scan down with our awareness, down the arms, into the forearms and the wrists, the palms of the hands, the fingertips. Scanning down through the chest, noticing how the rib cage is moving with each breath. And remember, you don't need to change anything. Now allowing that awareness to move down into the tummy and the hips, and down each leg. Into the thighs and the knees, down the shins and the calves, into the ankles, and the soles of the feet. And then beginning to turn our awareness now to the breath. Just noticing the quality of the breath. Is it shallow? Is it deep? Are you breathing more into the belly or more into the chest? Which parts of the rib cage are moving with each breath? Are you breathing into the back of the rib cage or more into the front? Noticing the rhythm of the breath. Is the inhale or the exhale longer than the other? Approaching it with a sense of curiosity. Now beginning to count the breath. Counting 1 on the inhale, 2 on the exhale, 3 on the inhale, 4 on the exhale. Inhale 5, exhale 6, inhale 7, exhale 8, inhale 9, exhale 10, and then return to 1. Remember, if thoughts pop into your head, just noticing that you've been distracted and returning to the count of the breath. It doesn't matter if you lose count. It doesn't matter how many times you lose count. Each time you're distracted is an opportunity for you to practice the skill of refocusing on the breath. Simply allowing thoughts to come and go. Each time refocusing on the breath. And now letting go of all focus on the breath. Allow the mind to do whatever it wants to do. If it wants to think, let it think. If it wants to feel, let it feel. Just allowing your mind complete freedom and space. And deepening the breath now. Noticing the feeling of the feet on the floor, the weight of the body pressing down, the feeling of the hands on the knees or the palms in the lap. becoming more aware of the sounds around you. Noticing the quality of the breath now. Is it similar to how it was in the beginning? Is it shallow? Is it deep? Noticing the rhythm of the breath. And gently allow your eyes to float open, maybe blinking a few times to get used to the light again. And I hope you enjoyed that short guided meditation. If it's something that you want to keep going with, you're very welcome to join in the Friday afternoon activity session at 3:10. Otherwise, there are plenty of resources on YouTube to discover many different guided meditations. Thank you again for meditating with me, and I wish you a peaceful day.